Welcome to the beginning of your absolute transformation. Step 1 is simple but brutal. Destroy the version of yourself that accepts mediocrity. If you want to build an empire, you must first burn the village of your old excuses. Success is not a gift. It is a calculated hostile takeover of your own potential. Watch closely because from this moment on, the rules of the world no longer apply to you. Complexity is the refuge of the weak. To win, you must strip away the noise and focus on the raw mechanics of leverage. Most people drown in details that don't move the needle. You, however, will learn to identify the single point of pressure that collapses the entire market in your favor. Simplify the strategy, then execute with overwhelming force. Your network is not just about who you know, it is about who owes you. Every interaction is a transaction in social equity. Start treating your reputation as the most volatile and valuable asset on your balance sheet. One wrong move ruins a decade of trust. One right move opens doors that money can't even find. The market does not care about your feelings, your effort, or your intent. It only responds to value. Stop asking for permission to be successful and start demanding it through the quality of your output. When your value becomes undeniable, the world stops being a barrier and starts being a playground. Quiet your mind and look at the path ahead. The stillness of the morning is where the greatest wars are won before they even begin. Observe the patterns in the world that others miss because they are too busy shouting. Silence is a weapon. Learn to use it. Information is only power if it is applied. Most people are professional students of things they will never do. You will be a practitioner of things they only dream of. The gap between knowing and doing is where your fortune is buried. Bridge that gap today. Discipline is the only bridge between a goal and an accomplishment. It is the ability to do what you hate as if you love it because you know it serves the crown. Without it, you are just another dreamer with a wish. With it, you are an architect of reality. Fear is an indicator, not a stop sign. It tells you exactly where the growth is hidden. If a move doesn't scare your competitors, it's probably not worth making. Lean into the discomfort until it becomes your natural habitat. That is where the elite reside. Wealth is a game of patience and aggressive positioning. You must be willing to wait for the right moment, but when that moment arrives, you must strike with zero hesitation. The difference between a millionaire and a billionaire is the speed of their decision-making during the crisis. Look at me, I am telling you this because no one else has the courage to be this honest. You are the only person responsible for your failure and the only person capable of your victory. Stop looking for a savior. Become the savior. The game is yours to lose. Aggressive curiosity is your greatest asset. Never stop asking why until you find the structural flaw in your competition. Every system has a weakness. Your job is to find it, exploit it, and then build something better on the ruins of their mistakes. Time is the only currency you can't print more of. Stop spending it on people who bring zero ROI to your life. Be ruthless with your schedule. If it doesn't build the legacy, it doesn't deserve a second of your attention. Protect your time like your life depends on it. Emotional control is the ultimate high ground. If you can stay calm while everyone else is panicking, you already own them. Decisions made in anger or fear are always expensive. Master your pulse and you will master the room. Perception is reality in the eyes of the masses. If you carry yourself like a king, they will treat you like one. If you act like a servant, you will be used like one. Dress, speak, and move with the authority of the position you intend to hold. Look at the horizon. Everything you see can be yours if you are willing to outwork, outthink, and outlast every other person standing in your way. The world is built of shadows and light. Learn to walk through both without losing your direction. Risk management isn't about avoiding danger, it's about pricing it correctly. You take the risks that others are too ignorant to understand. When you know the odds, a gamble becomes an investment. Calculations over gut feelings, every single time. Scalability is the difference between a business and a prison. If your system requires you to be there every hour, you haven't built an empire, you've bought a job. Design systems that thrive without your physical presence. That is true freedom. The loudest person in the room is usually the weakest. True power is a whisper that everyone strains to hear. Speak less, listen more, and gather the intelligence you need to make your next move devastating. Knowledge is the ultimate leverage. Burn the boats. If you give yourself a safety net, you will fall into it. True success happens when retreat is not an option. When failure means total destruction, you will find a level of focus you never knew existed. Commit fully or don't start. The world is full of spectators. I am looking for gladiators. Are you here to watch the game or are you here to own the stadium? Decide now because the window of opportunity is closing. Focus. Aim. Strike. Leverage is the force multiplier of the elite. 1 hour of high-leverage work is worth a month of low-level labor. Find the tools, the people, and the capital that allow you to move mountains with a single finger. Work smart, then work hard on the smart things. Obsession beats talent every day of the week. A talented person will stop when they are tired. An obsessed person will only stop when the job is done. If you aren't obsessed with your vision, you are just a tourist in the world of high-stakes success. Marketing is the art of telling a story that people want to live in. If you want to dominate, you must sell a transformation, not a product. People don't buy features, they buy a better version of themselves. Give them that, and they will follow you anywhere. Protect your energy. The world is full of vampires who will drain your ambition to feed their own insecurities. Surround yourself with lions or walk alone. A solitary lion is always more dangerous than 1,000 sheep. Choose your circle wisely. Consider the legacy of those who came before. The tracks of history are laid by those who dared to defy the status quo. In the quiet moments of transition, you find the strength to continue the long march toward absolute dominance. Financial literacy is the language of the masters. If you can't read a balance sheet, you can't read the map of your own future. Learn the numbers. The numbers never lie, even when the people presenting them do. Negotiation is about finding what the other person fears losing more than they want to win. Once you identify their pain point, you control the outcome. Never enter a room without knowing exactly where the exit is and who holds the keys. Adaptability is the key to survival in a volatile market. The plan is a guide, not a cage. If the winds change, adjust your sails, but never change your destination. The most successful people are those who can pivot without losing momentum. Greatness requires a total lack of balance for a specific season of your life. You cannot build a monument while trying to keep everyone happy. Be prepared to be misunderstood, disliked, and lonely. It is the price of admission to the top 1%. Stop blinking. The moment you look away is the moment your competitor gains an inch. This level of focus isn't a habit, it's a way of life. If you want what I have, you must be willing to see what I see. Do not break eye contact with your destiny. Momentum is the most expensive thing to buy and the easiest thing to lose. Once you start winning, don't stop to celebrate. Double down. Use the energy of your first victory to fuel the next 10. Keep the pressure on until the opposition collapses. Standardize your excellence. If your best performance is an accident, you aren't a professional. Create systems that ensure a high floor for your output. Your average day should be better than your competitor's best day. Vulnerability is a strategic tool, not a character flaw. Use it to build rapport when necessary, but never show your hand until the bet is called. Control the flow of information to control the perception of your power. The ego is the enemy of profit. Never let your pride get in the way of a good deal. If taking a temporary loss leads to a massive long-term gain, take it without hesitation. Be a student of the result, not a slave to your image. Watch the water. Even in the smallest ripple, there is a lesson about impact and consequence. Every action you take sends a wave through the market. Ensure your waves are purposeful and aimed at the target. Aggressive patience is the hallmark of the sovereign. You work with frantic intensity on the things you control, while remaining perfectly calm about the things you don't. Do the work, then let the harvest arrive when it's ready. The first rule of wealth is preservation. It's not about how much you make, it's about how much you keep and how hard that money works for you. Turn your income into soldiers that fight for your freedom while you sleep. Clarity of vision is your North Star. If you don't know exactly where you are going, any road will take you nowhere. Write your goals in stone and your tactics in sand. Be rigid in your destination and flexible in your approach. Conflict is inevitable in the pursuit of power. Don't avoid it, manage it. A well-placed confrontation can save you a year of passive-aggressive delays. Clear the air, set the boundaries, and move forward. Are you still here? Good. Most people quit by now. They want the crown but can't handle the weight. The fact that you're still listening tells me there's a spark of steel in you. Now let's turn that spark into a furnace. Eyes on me. Delegation is the ultimate sign of trust in your own systems. If you've trained your people and built your protocols correctly, the machine should hum. Your job isn't to be the engine, it's to be the navigator. Psychology is the real battlefield. If you understand what motivates people, fear, greed, or belonging, you can lead them anywhere. Study the human heart to dominate the human market. Be the engine, it's to be the navigator. Every no is just a request for more information. Don't take rejection personally, take it as a puzzle to be solved. Change the angle, change the offer, or change the person you're talking to. Persistence is the only failure-proof strategy. Health is the foundation of your empire. You can't lead a revolution from a sickbed. Treat your body like the high-performance machine it is. Fuel it, rest it, and sharpen it. A sharp mind requires a strong vessel. The sun sets on every empire eventually. The goal isn't to live forever, but to build something that does. Look at the long shadows. They remind us that our time is limited, but our impact can be eternal. Intuition is just pattern recognition at high speed. Trust your gut, but only after you've fed it a decade of data. Your subconscious knows the answer before your logic can formulate the question. Listen to it. Speed of implementation is the only metric that matters in the beginning. Don't wait for the perfect plan. Launch, break things, fix them, and launch again. Perfection is the enemy of progress and the friend of poverty. Competitors are your best teachers. Watch what they do well and do it better. Watch what they do poorly and avoid it. Every move they make is free market research for your own strategy. Integrity is doing the right thing when it costs you money. In the long run, being a man of your word is the most profitable strategy you will ever employ. People will pay a premium for a partner they can trust in the dark. We are halfway through this phase of your initiation. Look at how far you've come, but do not get comfortable. Comfort is the graveyard of champions. Stay hungry, stay sharp. The real work is only just beginning. Look at the goal. Resourcefulness is better than having resources. A person who can build a fire in the rain will always beat a person who just has a box of wet matches. Learn to make much out of little. Anticipation is the mark of a master. Don't react to the market, predict it. Positioning yourself where the ball is going to be is much easier than chasing it once it's already there. The power of no is greater than the power of yes. Say no to distractions, no to average opportunities, and no to toxic people. Every no saves energy for the one yes that will change your life. Master the art of storytelling. If you can make people believe in your vision, they will work for it as if it were their own. Leadership is the ability to paint a future so bright that others want to help you build it. Even in a mundane parking lot, there is an opportunity to observe the flow of commerce and human behavior. Every person is a customer, every car is a choice. Never stop analyzing the world around you. Focus on the 20% that produces the 80%. Most of your tasks are busy work designed to make you feel productive. Kill the fluff. Focus on the core drivers of revenue and influence. The cost of inaction is always higher than the cost of a mistake. You can fix a mistake, you can't fix time that has already vanished. Stop overthinking and start moving. Build a fortress of solitude. You need a place where the world can't reach you, where you can think clearly and strategize without noise. Clarity comes from isolation. Reward results, not effort. In your world, participation trophies don't exist. You are measured by the bottom line. Hold yourself and your team to a standard of cold, hard outcomes. 60 steps down, 120 to go. You are becoming the architect of your own destiny. Take a breath, acknowledge the progress, and then prepare your mind for the next level. We aren't done until the empire is standing. Look at me, let's go. Welcome to the second tier of your evolution. The foundation is laid, now we build the walls of your fortress. You must stop thinking like a player and start thinking like the house. The house never loses because the house controls the math. It is time for you to own the equations that govern your industry. Sovereignty is the ability to say no to anyone without fearing the consequences. If you are still dependent on a single source of income or a single person's approval, you are a hostage, not a leader. Diversify your power until you are unshakable. The most dangerous weapon in your arsenal is a reputation for being unpredictable. If they can predict your moves, they can build a cage for you. Keep them guessing. Stay silent until the moment of impact. Master the art of the long-term trade. Most people are chasing a fast buck today while sacrificing their fortune tomorrow. Be the person who is willing to wait, to plan, and to endure for the massive payout that changes generations. Observe the empty bench. It represents the space where your competition gave up. They couldn't handle the silence or the weight. Use this stillness to sharpen your mind. The loudest victories are prepared in absolute quiet. Aggressive networking is about strategic positioning. You don't need 1,000 friends. You need 5 people who can change your life with one phone call. Find the gatekeepers, provide them with value first, and then walk through the doors they open. Scarcity creates value. If you are always available, you are a commodity. If you are hard to find and even harder to reach, you are a luxury. Apply this to your time, your products, and your presence. Learn to thrive in the gray areas. The world isn't black and white. It's a spectrum of opportunity for those brave enough to navigate the complexity. Rules are for people who lack the imagination to create their own. Every failure is a data point. If you lose a battle, don't just walk away, perform an autopsy on the defeat. Find exactly where the logic failed and ensure it never happens again. Failure is only expensive if you don't learn from it. Look at me, are you getting tired? Good. This is where the separation happens. The average person quits when the novelty wears off. The elite keep pushing because the routine is where the mastery lives. Don't you dare blink now. Compounding interest applies to your skills just as much as your bank account. Getting 1% better every day doesn't look like much in a week, but in a year, you are a different species. Invest in yourself relentlessly. High-stakes communication is about what isn't said. Watch the body language, the hesitations, and the eyes of your opponent. People will tell you their weaknesses without opening their mouths if you are observant enough to see them. The bridge between vision and reality is documentation. If it isn't written down, it's a dream. If it's codified into a system, it's an empire. Start writing the manual for your own success today. Leverage other people's intelligence. You don't need to be the smartest person in the room. You just need to be the one who directs the smartest people toward a singular goal. True leadership is the management of talent. Look at the tracks. They remind us that the journey is fixed, but the speed is up to you. There are no shortcuts to the top, but there are plenty of ways to slow yourself down. Remove the friction and keep moving. The highest level of wealth is time freedom. If you are still trading hours for dollars, you are losing the game. Your goal is to build assets that produce value while you sleep, travel, or think. Kill the clock. Risk is a variable, not a constant. You can lower risk through knowledge, preparation, and redundancy. Never take a blind gamble. Only take calculated risks where the upside is infinite and the downside is contained. Charisma is a byproduct of absolute certainty. When you believe in your mission so deeply that it radiates from your pores, people will naturally gravitate toward your light. Cultivate that inner fire. The world loves to build idols just to watch them fall. Don't be an idol, be an architect. Idols are symbols for others to worship. Architects are the ones who actually own the ground they stand on. Focus, I can see your mind wandering. The distractions of the world are designed to keep you poor and compliant. Reclaim your attention. It is the most valuable thing you own. Give it to me, and I will show you the way. Master the pivot. A plan is a hypothesis, not a prophecy. When the market gives you new information, be humble enough to change your mind but strong enough to maintain your momentum. Your environment dictates your output. If you live in a mess, your mind will be a mess. Surround yourself with order, beauty, and high-quality tools. The details matter because they reflect your standards. Conflict is a teacher. It shows you where the boundaries are and who has the stomach for the fight. Don't seek it out, but when it finds you, finish it quickly and decisively. The difference between a hobby and a career is a spreadsheet. Track everything. Your leads, your conversions, your margins, and your time. You cannot optimize what you do not measure. Watch the light change on the horizon. It is a reminder that opportunity is a window that opens and closes. If you aren't ready to jump when the light hits, you'll be left in the dark. Automation is the key to scale. Anything you have to do twice should be handled by a system. Your brain is for creating and strategizing, not for repetitive labor. Outsource the mundane. Learn the power of silence in a deal. After you make your offer, stop talking. The first person to speak usually loses. Let the silence do the work for you. It forces the other side to confront their own nerves. The best marketing doesn't feel like marketing. It feels like an education or a transformation. Give your audience so much value for free that they feel obligated to pay you for the rest. Succession planning starts on day one. Even if you aren't planning to leave, build your business so that it could survive without you tomorrow. That is the only way to make it truly valuable to an investor or an heir. 90 steps. You are at the summit of the first half. Most people never even see the base of this mountain. Take a moment to look back at the people you've outpaced. Now, turn back to me. The second half is where the legends are forged. Your word must be made of iron. If you say you will do something, it must be done, regardless of the cost. A man with a reputation for absolute reliability is a man who can command any price. Deep work is a superpower in an age of distraction. If you can focus on a single difficult task for 4 hours without looking at a screen, you are more productive than 99% of the population. Protect your focus. The market is a mirror. If you aren't getting the results you want, look at the value you are providing. The market doesn't make mistakes. It simply reflects your level of skill and utility back at you. Ego-driven spending is a disease. Don't buy things to impress people you don't like. Buy assets that buy you your freedom. Once you are free, you don't need to impress anyone. Even a discarded bottle in the rain tells a story of consumption and waste. Don't be the consumer. Be the one who owns the supply chain. Value is created by those who produce, not those who merely use. Master your biology. Your energy levels, your sleep, and your focus are all tied to your chemistry. Optimize your health to ensure your mind stays sharp during the 18-hour days that greatness requires. Networking is about planting seeds today that you won't harvest for years. Be generous with your connections. The person you help today might be the one who saves your empire a decade from now. Aggressive curiosity will keep you young. The moment you think you know everything is the moment you start dying. Be a perpetual student of your craft and of the world. True wealth is the ability to walk away from any deal, any person, and any situation that doesn't align with your values. If you can't walk away, you don't own it. It owns you. 100 steps. Look at me. This is the century mark. You are no longer the person who started this journey. You have shed your skin and built a new armor, but the final 80 steps will test that armor until it cracks. Stay with me. Psychological warfare is the art of getting your opponent to defeat themselves. If you can influence their perception of the situation, you can make them surrender before the first shot is fired. The power of a personal brand is that it scales trust. When people feel like they know you, the friction of the sale disappears. Be authentic, be consistent, and be visible. Identify the keystone habit in your life, the one thing that makes everything else easier or unnecessary. For some, it's exercise. For others, it's reading. Find yours and guard it with your life. Be a predator of opportunity. When a gap appears in the market, move with extreme violence of action. Speed is often more important than perfection when the window is narrow. The ripples in the pond are a reminder that your legacy is not just what you build, but the impact you leave on others. Ensure your influence is a force that builds up rather than tears down. Complexity is often a mask for a lack of clarity. If you can't explain your strategy to a 10-year-old, you don't understand it yourself. Strip it down to its most basic, powerful elements. The highest form of leverage is software and code. It works while you sleep, it doesn't complain, and its marginal cost of reproduction is zero. Integrate technology into every fiber of your business. Don't fear the competition, make them irrelevant. If you provide a level of service and value that they can't even comprehend, you aren't competing. You are dominating a category of one. Your intuition is your inner compass, but only if it's calibrated. Feed it high-quality information, diverse experiences, and brutal honesty. A calibrated gut is your best advisor. Stop, look into my eyes. You are becoming a force of nature, but a force of nature without a destination is just a disaster. Refine your aim. What is the one thing you are willing to die for? Find it, and you will live for it. The elite are those who can do the boring work with high intensity for a long time. Success is rarely glamorous. It's a series of mundane tasks performed with extraordinary discipline. Learn the art of the no. Every time you say yes to something unimportant, you are saying no to your destiny. Be ruthless with your boundaries. Your reputation is your most valuable asset. It takes 20 years to build and 5 minutes to ruin. If you protect your reputation, it will protect you in every market cycle. Wealth is built by serving others at scale. Find a problem that millions of people have and solve it in a way that is unique and efficient. The more people you help, the more money you make. Look at the empty seats. They are a reminder that leadership can be lonely. Not everyone can go where you are going. Accept the solitude as part of the price of your ascension. The market rewards those who take responsibility for the outcome. Stop blaming the economy, the government, or your team. If it happens on your watch, it's your responsibility. Fix it. Master the art of the pivot. When the world changes, don't cling to a dying model. Be the first to embrace the new reality, and you will be the one who defines it. True power is the ability to stay calm under extreme pressure. When everyone else is losing their heads, your calm is a beacon that will draw people to your leadership. The goal isn't just to be rich, it's to be free. Freedom to choose your work, your partners, and your time. If your money doesn't buy you freedom, it's just paper. 120 steps. You have completed the second block. The foundation and the walls are up. Now we place the crown. The final 60 steps are about the legacy and the exit. Stay focused. Stay sharp. Eyes on the prize. Welcome to the final ascent. This is where we separate the successful from the legendary. It is no longer about survival. It is about total systemic dominance. You have the tools and the armor. Now, you must develop the killer instinct required to close the loop and secure your place in history. Authority is not granted. It is seized through the sheer weight of your competence. When you walk into a room, your presence should settle the debate before a word is spoken. This level of gravitas comes from knowing that your systems are flawless and your resolve is absolute. The highest form of strategy is to win without fighting. Position your assets so perfectly that the opposition realizes resistance is mathematically futile. Total victory is quiet, efficient, and inevitable. Intellectual honesty is your shield against stagnation. Admit what you don't know and fix it immediately. The man who lies to himself about his weaknesses is the man who builds his castle on quicksand. Look at the still water. It reflects the sky perfectly because it has no internal turbulence. To see the world as it truly is, you must eliminate the noise of your own ego. Clarity is the ultimate competitive advantage. Strategic philanthropy is not just about giving. It is about building social infrastructure. Invest in the community that supports your empire, and you create a defensive perimeter of goodwill that no competitor can penetrate. The art of the exit is knowing exactly when the peak has been reached. Most people stay too long and watch their fortunes dwindle. Be the one who sells at the top and moves to the next frontier while the others are still celebrating. True sophistication is the ability to handle extreme wealth without losing your edge. Don't let the lifestyle soften your spirit. Stay lean, stay mean, and keep the fire of ambition burning as hot as the day you started. Your legacy is the shadow you cast across the future. What will they say about you when you are gone? That you were a consumer or that you were an architect? Every decision you make today is a brick in that monument. Look at me, we are in the home stretch. Do you feel the weight of what you've built? Good, that weight is your power. Don't let it crush you, let it ground you. You are the master of this domain. Now finish the job. Information asymmetry is the primary source of profit. If you know something the market doesn't, you have a license to print money. Cultivate deep sources of intelligence and guard them with your life. The quality of your life is determined by the quality of the questions you ask yourself. Instead of, why is this happening? Ask, how can I monetize this? Shift your perspective to find the gold in the rubble. Systems don't have emotions. That's why they work. Remove the human element of error by automating your decision-making processes. If the data says go, you go. No hesitation, no doubt. Your time is now so valuable that you should pay others to do anything that doesn't require your specific genius. Buy back your life 1 hour at a time until your only job is to think and to lead. Watch the birds in flight. They move with an economy of motion, using the wind to their advantage. Learn to use the momentum of the world to carry your vision forward without burning unnecessary energy. A true leader creates other leaders, not followers. If your empire dies with you, you have failed. Build a culture and a team that can carry the torch into the next century. Risk is the price of entry for the extraordinary. If you want a guaranteed outcome, get a job. If you want a guaranteed legacy, embrace the uncertainty and master the chaos. The most valuable asset in a crisis is a liquid balance sheet and a calm mind. While others are liquidating in a panic, you are the one with the capital to buy the future at a discount. Perform a meta-analysis of your own life. Identify the recurring patterns of success and double down on them. Identify the recurring patterns of failure and cut them out like a cancer. I am looking for the version of you that doesn't need me anymore. The version that has internalized these lessons and is ready to walk the path alone. You are almost there. Keep your eyes locked on mine. One final push. Geopolitical arbitrage is the next level of wealth. Don't be tied to one nation or one currency. Move your assets to where they are treated best and your influence where it is most effective. Silence is often the strongest argument. In a world of constant noise, the person who can remain quiet and observant is the one who truly understands the room. Use your presence to command, not your voice. Charisma is a science. It is the perfect calibration of warmth and competence. Master the micro-expressions and the tonal shifts that make people feel both safe in your presence and intimidated by your power. The middle class is a trap designed to keep you comfortable enough to never strive for more. Reject the average life. Reject the safety. Leap into the unknown and claim your status among the elite. Consider the legacy of the great architects. Their buildings stand long after they are gone because they understood the laws of physics. You must understand the laws of economics and human nature to build something that lasts. A perpetual system is one that self-corrects. Build feedback loops into your business and your life so that errors are caught and fixed automatically. This is the secret to immortality. Convergence is when all your different streams of influence and income merge into a single, unstoppable river. This is the apotheosis of the architect. Everything you do now supports everything else you own. Real power is invisible. If they know your name, you are a target. If they only feel your influence, you are a ghost. Operate from the shadows to maintain total control without the burden of fame. Prepare for the cycles of history. Civilizations rise and fall, but the laws of power remain the same. Ensure your assets are resilient enough to survive the collapse of the systems around you. 150. We are in the end game now. Your mind is sharp, your path is clear, and your resolve is absolute. Do not let the proximity to the finish line make you sloppy. Focus harder than you ever have. The final phase is about the refinement of the soul. You have the money, you have the power. Now you must master yourself. Without self-mastery, your empire is just a cage built of gold. Trust is a luxury you can afford only when you have the systems to verify it. Trust, but verify. This ensures that your integrity remains intact while your interests are protected at all times. The world is a simulation of incentives. If you want to change the outcome, change the incentives. Understand what people really want, and you can direct the flow of history itself. Master the art of the pivot one last time. As you reach the top, the air gets thin and the rules change again. Be ready to shed everything you thought you knew to embrace the final truth. The empty park is a reminder that the world goes on without us. Our job is to make sure that the world is better, or at least more interesting, because we were here. Leave your mark on the silence. The ultimate form of wealth is the ability to create reality from thought. When you can imagine a future and then bring it into existence through your will and your systems, you have become a god of your own domain. Finality is a gift. It forces you to prioritize. What is the one thing that truly matters? Focus all your remaining energy there. Strip away the rest. Your reputation is now your greatest employee. It works for you 24 hours a day, opening doors and closing deals before you even wake up. Guard it with everything you have. Every transaction is a lesson in human nature. Look back at everyone you've dealt with. They were all mirrors reflecting parts of the game back at you. Take that wisdom and build your final masterpiece. 160. Look at me. We are almost there. The finish line is in sight. Can you taste the freedom? Can you feel the power of a life fully lived? Stay with me for the final 20. The architecture of the mind is the blueprint of the empire. If your thoughts are chaotic, your kingdom will fall. Maintain the inner order and the outer world will follow suit. Leverage your legacy. Use what you have built to empower the next generation of architects. By teaching others, you ensure that your principles live on forever. The market is never wrong, but it is often late. Have the courage to be right before everyone else, and the patience to wait for the world to catch up to your vision. Complexity is just a layer of skin. Peel it back to find the simple, elegant truth at the core of every problem. The best solutions are always the simplest. Watch the light fade. It is not an end, but a transition. Every sunset is a prelude to a new dawn. Be ready for the next cycle of your existence. Absolute dominance requires absolute discipline. Even at the top, you cannot afford to relax your standards. The moment you stop striving is the moment you start sliding. The final exit is the most important move you will ever make. Ensure it is clean, profitable, and leaves your legacy intact. Walk away with your head high and your fortune secure. Wisdom is the ability to see the end at the beginning. If you followed these steps, you already know how the story ends. You are the author. The final analysis is complete. Every variable has been accounted for. Every risk has been mitigated. You have built a machine that is perfect in its execution. 170. Look into my eyes. This is the penultimate milestone. You are standing on the threshold of absolute mastery. Do you have the courage to take the final 10 steps? I think you do. The global game is won by those who think in centuries, not days. Align your interests with the long-term arc of progress, and you will be unshakable. Silent persuasion is the ultimate flex. When your results speak for themselves, you don't need to say a word. Let your success be your noise. Quantify your charisma. Measure your impact on every room you enter. Refine the variables until your influence is a mathematical certainty. The quantum leap is not a jump in distance, but a jump in state. You are no longer who you were. You have ascended to a new level of being. The park bench is empty because the work is done. The book is open because the knowledge is shared. The peace you feel is the result of a life lived with total purpose. Your system is now a perpetual motion machine. It requires nothing from you but your occasional observation. You are truly free. The unified theory of your power is now complete. Every step, every lesson, and every struggle has led to this singular moment of clarity. Step into the shadows. The transition to the invisible architect is complete. You own the world, but the world doesn't need to know your name. Prepare the next cycle. The seeds you have planted will grow into the empires of tomorrow. You have secured the future for those who follow. 180. Look at me for the last time. The barrier is down. The journey is over. You are no longer the student, you are the master. The game is finished and you have won. Now step beyond the line and begin your true life. Goodbye.